Good afternoon. My name is Martin Coward, and welcome to Noonday Meditations and Contemplative Prayer Power Hour, where we come together every day at noon during this pandemic to love and support each other through this difficult and challenging time. You know, what I'm discovering is that some people, including myself, are actually feeling strangely energized by this pandemic. This disruption has made us feel we've had to stop and go inside ourselves, and I would say energize ourselves. We've become more energetic, more alive, more willing to be part of something. It's what I'm saying. I know that I'm just wildly more energized today than I was before. There seem to be two camps. And again, I'm going to ask if you would, if you're joining me, please type your name and or say hello in the chat box so that I know you're here. It's just nice to know that people are joining me and who you are. I see the numbers come up on the screen, but I don't know who you are. Hey, Mindy, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I've got a real treat for you today. I'm going to show you all something about explain why I believe, like what research has shown us scientifically, why we may be feeling energized. Those of us who've had a contemplative practice, and who have somewhat learned to live in that mysterious, mystical realm of spirit, of soul, may be feeling highly energized by what we're going through. And it seems like we have like two camps out there. There's the camp of people who are just still angry and upset. I'm glad. Oh, thank you, Randy. Glad to see you. Glad to see you here. I'm talking about the stairway of cells today. Yes. Why are some of us so strangely energized by all that? I know I am, and so many people that I talk to, and there's so much positive energy coming out of all of this. And there's still, again, there's two camps. There's the camp of people who haven't quite gotten there yet, and they're angry, they're bitter, they just want us to get over and get their lives back to whatever that so-called normal is. And then there's a growing camp of people, if you will, of people who are actually energized. And researchers have shown that actually, when we get into higher levels of consciousness, the spiritual realm, we actually generate power. Whereas when we're in the lower realms of consciousness, of the physical and the ego, we actually are consumers of energy. And I think that's what we've experienced individually and collectively against the world, is that we were consuming so much of energy, we had to stop and refuel. So it's like, this is what all top performers have learned, is how to align themselves, their body and their mind, with their spirit to be top performers. It's not about willpower and efforting your way and who can do the most and who can produce the most. It's the exact opposite of that. It's surrendering all of that so that we can actually perform and provide and serve at the highest level possible. And so that's for those of us who are mastering and experiencing a spiritual journey. We understand that the life is a spiritual journey, and the evolvement of all levels of human consciousness is the path to success. That is the yellow brick road. So I want to share a screen with you of an illustration that's courtesy of the Soul Purpose Institute that will help get an understanding of exactly what I'm talking about. It's called the Stairway of Cells. And I'm hoping you can see this. I'm experimenting with these new technology of being able to share my screen. Today I'm not going to do a reading, I'm going to do a little bit of a teaching so that we can understand the science behind this sense of energy we're all feeling. And this illustration was created based on the work and the life work and the research of Dr. David Hawkins. And he wrote a very famous book that's well known called power versus force. And as you can see from this illustration, these are the three realms of human consciousness. We have the lower realm, which is in the orange, the physical realm. We have the mental realm, and we have the spiritual realm. These are the three realms of human consciousness. This has all been scientifically proven, and science is not opposed to spirituality. It is spirituality. It is a product of spirituality. It is the wisdom, if you will, of how the world is. And as you see from the stairway of selves, we rarely see the world the way it is. I see the world the way that I am. So if I'm in that camp of fear and doubt and of tomorrow, I'm still in that lower realm. I'm still driven by fear. And unfortunately, a lot of people are stuck there. I know I was stuck there for a long time, but it was through years and years of practice and support by other people that I began to climb out. I had the courage, if you will. It takes courage. If you notice, that first rung on the stairway is courage. If we have the courage to have faith that there's something bigger than us, something calling us into a brighter, more exciting, more creative future, or way of being, not just a few, but a way of being in this moment. And that's what meditation and prayer is all about. It's about, when we talk about surrender, we're surrendering that lower realm of the ego. It does not want to let go of, because the ego, which is developed at that lower realm, at that place of entitlement and pride, we pull ourselves out of the purely physical realm because we feel like, well, I'm human and I deserve better than this. I'm entitled to a life better than this. I can feel anger. I'm angry that I'm stuck in this lower realm. So we use anger as a tool, if you will, to leverage us up into a higher level of consciousness on the rung of self, on the stairway of self. This is the yellow brick road. This is the path to success, by the way, that we're looking at. As a prosperity coach and as a teacher in using spiritual principles to solve financial problems, this is the path. This is the core of my teaching. And when you understand this, you'll understand a lot about how you operate in the world, and how we empower ourselves to be at our top performance for the betterment of others. That's what we're talking about. That's what success is. Success is how much can I contribute to the world for the betterment of the others. And the successful people that I admire, like Oprah Winfrey, people along those lines who come from zero financial wealth, who have creating immense amount of wealth by empowering themselves and empowering others for the betterment of themselves in the world. So as you can see here, when we jump, when we have the courage to move, look over here on the right side, if you will. If you can see, these are the power levels, and these are the joy levels. So we almost know where we are on the stairway, but what we're feeling. That's why our emotions are so important. So if I'm in a place of blaming and disappointed, I'm blaming God, I'm blaming the world, or I'm blaming the Republicans, or I'm blaming the president, I'm still down here in this fear-driven modality. You know, I'm still making it about somebody else. I'm not a participant. I'm not responsible. And I'm not very happy, probably. I'm not experiencing a lot of joy in that particular state of mind. So I'm aware at these lower, I'm not experiencing, but I am aware, because once you realize this is really who we are unconditional love. We can't go back. We can't put the toothpaste back on the tube and go back to being here. It's like once you get to Paris, you're not going back to Leary, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So this is Paris up here. You are enlightened. You are in the kingdom of heaven, as Jesus says. This is what the kingdom of heaven is about. It is about aligning ourselves, our souls, and our bodies and our minds into this higher level of consciousness. It's kind of exciting, isn't it? And just look here, when we go from 1,000, when we go from this lower level of fear, driven by fear of controlling, we go from 1,000 watts of power to 10,000 watts of power. 10 times the power. This is why I call it a power hour, because we empower ourselves. We step into that power within us to generate energy to create a better world. That's what we're doing. That's why we come together. Make sense? Kind of exciting. And when you understand the science behind meditation and prayer, I think for me, it gives it a whole new meaning and a sense of purpose. And it makes me want to do more of it because I want that power within me. I want to be at my top performance. Okay. I want to be at my best. I want to be working at my best potential so that I can make a better world. I can participate in the betterment of the world. Hey, Darceau, nice to see you with us today. How are you today? Thank you for joining. We're talking about the stairway of selves. I rarely see the world the way it is. I see the world the way I am. Oh my God. Hey, Paul. It's been a long time. How are you doing? Nice to see you. And there's my friend Courtney. Oh my God, the whole world's here today. Let me see who else is here. Yes, exactly, Courtney. The power. This is my dear friend Courtney. She's a partner of mine. She helped me. She and I created the Financial Mystic Sanctuary, and she's just a lovely. She's a fellow financial planner and wealth manager who also saw that the traditional structure, if you will, was missing something. So she began to work with me on creating a more heart-centered way of approaching finances. So great to see you here, Courtney. Yeah, as we move up this rung, as we go up this stairway, and then look what happens here. This is what's so exciting. With courage and reason, we move and we begin to accept. This is why acceptance, the power of acceptance. Look at what this does. Just accepting the world the way it is, accepting COVID-19 for what it is, that there's something bigger going on than what we know. From the lower dimension, there is nothing we like about it. But if you can just get up into a spiritual realm of accepting the world exactly like it is, and that we're not the ones in charge, look at where we go into. That is the entrance. That is the gateway. Acceptance is the gateway into the spiritual realm. And we go to 100,000 watts of power. And we experience a level of joy at 85%. I know. And that's why I think some of us are having this unusual, strange sense of joy and energy here in a world pandemic. It doesn't make any sense, but when we accept it as it is, and we look at the wisdom teachings of Jesus and Buddha and all the prophets, then we begin to understand who we are. We are love. We are unconditional love. And then we begin to align the lower realms, our body and our minds come into alignment, with our soul, with our creator, with our power. This is that creative source of energy that has created everything we see. This is powerful stuff, people. This is wild. It's right here. It's always been here. We often just didn't see it. And it's taken this coronavirus, this pandemic, to make us stop, slow down, and go inside ourselves and empower ourselves with that truth within ourselves. Isn't that exciting? Certainly is exciting to me. I love it. And so if you'd like a copy of this, there is a copy of it in the filing cabinet at the Financial Mystic Sanctuary Facebook group. If you're not a member, just ask to join. We'd love to have you join us. And you can find a copy of this in the filing cabinet at the Facebook group. But this is sort of the scientific understanding of what we're doing. So the invitation is to you to, and the only way, and every top performer in the world, I mean, really a top performer, someone who has had success, And I define success as people who have made a significant, who have and sustainably continue to make a significant influence on the world for the betterment. We can love and accept the lower realms for what they are, to help us learn, grow, evolve, and absolutely, exactly as Ken Wilber says, we transcend and include. We have to include the lower realms, because what we're really doing is we're learning to love and accept those parts of it. Because we see when I'm feeling fear and frightened, that's just part of my human condition. And we have done things that we might regret or feel badly about, because we're really in that lower realm and we're trying to protect our loved ones. If I'm angry sometimes, it's because I feel threatened that someone's trying to hurt me or take something away. Or, if I'm feeling angry, for example, at what's going on around inequality in race, and then I can either do one of two things. I can either stay in that anger and blame the world, blame the president, blame the circumstances, or I can go deeper in myself and say the world's got to be better, and transcend, as Courtney says, to grow and evolve and know ourselves and become and begin to use that anger as a leverage, if you will, as a gateway to that higher realm, so that we can become more productive and we can become more powerful. We step more into power that way. Absolutely, we step more into ourselves, our true selves, and say this is the ego. We talk all the time about surrender. What we're surrendering this false identity that's down here in this lower falsehood place. We're surrendering it, which is really hard for the ego to do, by the way. It can't. The ego cannot do that. That's why we have to have the courage to just let go and trust that something bigger than us is going to catch us and pull us up into a new place. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? It is exciting. That's what people say to me. God, if anybody's bored right now with what's going on in the world, you're boring. And you need to stop and see what's going on in the world, what's going on inside you. Because I would say if you're seeing the world as boring, you're in a boring place. And I don't mean that ugly and that something's wrong with you. I mean that you haven't taken the time to go inside yourself and say, why am I bored? What do I need right now to feel part of, to not be bored, to feel part of something, to belong to something? But this stairway of cells is how we can all begin to, as Courtney says, love and accept those lower realms of ourselves, so that we can all empower ourselves and each other into this higher realm. That's why we come together at noon to practice the art of prayer and contemplative prayer and meditation. We come here because we can't do it alone. We're not alone, and this is where we connect. We connect in this higher realm of self-consciousness. So again, if you'd like a copy of that, please help yourself to it. You'll find it in the Financial Heart Space. You'll find it in the Financial Mystics Sanctuary Facebook group. You'll find a copy of that. Please download it. And thank you, Steve D'Annunzio of the Soul Purpose Institute, for creating this wonderful illustration and allowing us to use it as a teaching tool. So thank you. And let's do something now we all like to do. Let's actually practice the art of contemplative prayer and meditation. Let's actually get into that space together. I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. Let's turn some things off here. I don't want anything to go off and disturb us. But I'm going to set the timer. If anybody is curious, if you want a timer, I use something called the Insight Timer on my iPhone. And you can get it. There's a paid version and a free version. The free version has the timer in it. That's all I need. So if you want a timer on meditation, it's a wonderful tool. The thing that I like about the timer is I can set what I call interval bells or wake-up bells, because sometimes when we're meditating, we might find ourselves going down a rabbit hole. We think we're meditating, but actually we're actually tracing a deep thought deeper into the thought. And when the bell goes off, oh, wait a minute, I catch myself in a thought, and I really want to go into a place of not thinking. I want to go into a place of no thought, the gap between thinking, so I can be present to the now. Because I'm in a thought, I'm thinking about something other than what's going on right now. That makes sense? Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. Let's raise our arms up in the air. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel that wonderful life. Bring that unconditional love at the top down into your body. As Courtney says, we can learn to love. So let's bring that loving energy into the body by wiggling your fingers and celebrating and wiggling your toes. And you know what moved your hands up in the air? Your spirit. The muscles did the work, but the movement, the doing, is your spirit. It's doing everything. We're just the vehicle. Isn't that nice? Just let go. Just put your hands up in the air and celebrate. Open your chest a little wider if you can, and just expand the heart space and allow everything. Allow yourself to love everything exactly as it is, without condition. Because that is our true nature. That is who we are. Now put your hands on your heart. Just put your hands on your heart for a second. And just listen. Just listen to yourself breathing. Listen to your heart beating. As oxygen comes down through your nose, down your throat, your esophagus, into your lungs, and mixes with your blood, and spirit becomes matter. Spirit becomes form within us. And the heart becomes a beacon, if you will, of connection for each of us. Way beyond the understanding of the human mind. Notice, the spiritual realm really understands the lower realms, because it's you. But the lower realms have no idea. So just be grateful that you're one of the ones who figured out who you are. So let go of any beliefs, opinions, and judgments you have about the world, about me, about God, about yourself, about COVID-19. Let them all go. Hold on to nothing. Let them go and surrender. Fall upward, if you will, into unconditional love. Falling upward consciously into the higher realm of consciousness. Falling upward into the truth, the power you have. So let go and get still. Let go and be still and know that I am unconditional love. Not me, Martin. Martin's down there on that lower realm of that ladder, of that stairway. But I'm here too. When I claim the truth of who I am unconditional love, and ask my body, and ask my mind to get in alignment with me, I'm powerful. I am powerful. You are powerful. I am unconditional love. Not me, Martin. I am. I am not me. I am not me. I am not me. Oh, welcome back. How was your adventure? Where are you on the stairway of selves right now? Ask yourself, where am I? How am I seeing the world? What is my life view? What is my joy level? Personally, I live pretty much in the range between wisdom and courage. I wake up in the morning in the orange. I call that waking up with vultures on the bedpost. And it's very important what I do in that first 7 minutes to get me out of that orange up into the green and the blue. And what I do is simple. I wanted that way. I go get a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Don't like coffee, get tea. Your favorite beverage, something. And I go outside and I allow myself to wake up with the world. I feel myself into existence. And all of a sudden, I'm beginning to notice the flowers, the squirrels, the birds, the sounds of life waking me up. And I wake up with the universe because I am part of the universe. So I just sit and enjoy my coffee, looking at the flowers, watching the birds. This morning, a deer came out. And I live in a suburban neighborhood in northern New Jersey. But the deer and the animals have just been very much a part of our lives. I mean, there was a fox out there the other day, and that's how I do it. And then I move on. Then I move on to the body. I begin to bring spirit into the body. I go do some yoga and some core work so that I can begin to breathe into the body, wake up my body. And then I begin to read, prepare myself for this noonday live meditation. So that in that part of the course, I am bombarding my brain with spiritual truths and wisdom. So I'm opening up the pathways, if you will, to a deeper level of truth within myself. And then when I'm here at noon, I have prepared myself and aligned myself physically, mentally, and spiritually to share with you and be part of your life, and you be part of mine. And that's exciting. And that's how I'm participating in the movement to create a better world, more loving, a more nurturing, a more truthful, grounded in prosperity and love and truth. Where everyone enjoys the freedoms and the abundance of this world. We're getting there. And more of us are energized. Find our energy in the middle of all of this to serve for the betterment of the world. Wow, wow, wow. Won't that be exciting? That's faith. That's hope. It's hope for a new tomorrow and a new social economic system grounded in truth, love, and prosperity. And may love and prosperity prevail throughout the world. From now on, there's no going back. Thank you.